Hello everybody and welcome back to Alma. So to start this episode off, we're going to start to get all our corn brought up to the dryer so we can get that dried and then we can forget about it until it comes time to sell. So there is this load and another two more I think to do to get to here. And what I'm also going to do is we were looking at the cows and the slurry, and we are full of slurry with 100,000 litres. So we are going to go and buy ourselves a slurry tanker. This is about as much as what we're going to spend on ourselves until we manage to sell everything and make money. So I was looking at one of these, but obviously that's 60,500. But then you put in, obviously that's only 6 metres, that's 7 metres, so you're over 100,000 there. With that, you're well over your 130 odd thousand to get set up. So that was one idea. I have gone off that idea though, and I thought, well, why not go for something like this, where you get 24 metres, 24,000 litres you can fit in and get 12 metres of spread. Which this is just got, it's not a dribble bar, it's just a splash plate on the back. So that was an idea. Or we go for this one, which obviously that's 18. So it's slightly less, but we get sort of a wider dribble bar, 15 metres. So this is where I'm really trying to think. And also with this one, we can have the manure sensing. The John Deere manure sensing, which that's all part, I'm sure that's part of precision farming. So what I will just have a look at is, let's go on a base game one. Yes. So that's the one I'm wanting to go and get. So design, I reckon that's to do with the ends. Yeah, so we can either go for, no, we're just going to go for that one, but we are going to go get the sensors put on. So we're going to buy that, which is still cheaper than the other one. Fair dues, we've got slightly less, but it's all an all-in-one unit. Right, and now with that bought, we're going to go do this bit of leading, and then we'll come back and we will gather that up, getting ready to put some slurry on the fields. With that all now in there, we can have a look and see what we have. So go to the productions, corn dryer. So, whoa, we have 130, well, almost 131,000 litres to go at, and it's already done nearly 50,000 into dried corn. So that dried corn is already worth, well, £100,000. So if we say every 50,000 litres, so we're going to have like almost £300,000 worth just of dried corn when that's done. Right, what I am going to do is, I think you've seen us do this drive down here many a time now, is we're going to take this back to the farm, I'll drop the trailer off, and then I'll bring you back when we're coming up here to put the slurry tanker on. So because we're full, well, our slurry storage is full, we're going to have to just stay in this month for a little while to try and get it empty. Ooh. Brakes weren't very good there. To try and get it empty, I could possibly look at I could possibly look at buying another storage tank. Go on the side, to see if that will then up it. We'll definitely give that a go. We also need to, because we bought that block of forestry, we need to look at leasing, I should say, a forest harvester. So that's something that I'd like to get on and do this episode. I'm just trying to remember. I think it could have been this spreader. I remember watching a video of Daggerwin's, and he had either this one or the slightly smaller one. It would have been the base game one, I'm now uncertain, where the slightest lump in the field, it would lift up and it wouldn't put slurry on. And I think that's why he went for the first spreader that I showed you, because that would do. So I'm just hoping we haven't made a mistake going with this one. Because otherwise, what I was going to go for was the splash plate one. Because you could get 24,000 litres in. Yes, it was a 12 metre radius. Obviously, this is 15. But the only thing that sort of swung it for me was to get the John Deere manure sensor on. But anyways, we'll get this pulled under... we'll get to the cow barn and have a look to see whether we can place a placeable, how much it's going to cost, and look to get this filled up. I've also made a decision, believe it or not. That John Deere corn header just through there, that's going. We're selling it. And I'm not going to tell you why or what my reasons are, and I'm not going to tell you what we're going to buy instead. But that is going to be what's going. And yeah, because I've found something, another route I would rather go down. Wow. These are expensive. See, really, we need something like that one. But that's going to take loads of our money away. Because it makes more sense going for something like that, because with these fields being so big, it gives us more to go at. But so if I was to go, do we just try it and say, let's just save the game first. If I go take that off, just in case. I didn't want to spend this much money, but I do believe it will be beneficial later on. I do believe it will be very, very beneficial later on. So if we go like that, that is a huge storage tank. Oh, and annoyingly, it's only just gone under there. Where is... Let's just go like this. Fill that gap a bit more. I would never not like that at all in the slightest. Alright, now let's just soften quickly. Like so. And this is the hardest part, is finding which grass it is. We seem to have so many different types of grass. Is this the one? Alright, sound job. Let's just grass round here. You never know, we may be getting rid of this straight away if it's no good. Right, let's now look at the cow barn. Okay, we've upped that now massively, so it does mean that we can move on if need be. But what I would like to go and do is go down here and just make sure that this is where it's emptying from. I can't see that it's... Everything makes sense that this is, but I just want to be sure. So let's pull to there and unload 100,000 litres. Brilliant. So that has now sorted out our slurry issue. So with that full, we'll make our way. I don't know which field we'll start on, but we'll start on one of them. We'll get as much out as we can. And this is a job where I'm thinking, if you just did one or two loads, or did say one time lapse an episode, you'll soon get through some slurry. Yeah, and it will save you an absolute fortune later on when it comes to your field work. But right, this is just about powerful enough to do this. So I've gone from not wanting to spend any money to this being the only purchase we're going to make today. To spending £250,000 basically already. Oh dear. Right, we'll spread some slurry. we're now on the final 10,000 litres. So that'll be 100,000 litres onto this field. I am very interested. I've realised I made a mistake. And any of you who have watched and followed through the series and what I have said and what my plans are for the fields, there's a good clue for you, will know what that mistake was. So I won't tell you just yet, but leave a comment down below if you managed to guess what the mistake was before I tell you a bit later on. But anyways, we'll get this last bit onto the field, and then we've got, I think we have to fertilise our I get so tongue-tied at times. I think we have to fertilise the alfalfa field, so we've got that to do. And also, when we were doing our leading of corn to the corn dryer, I realised we haven't picked up the bales from the soybean field. So they are two jobs that we can do today before then I'd imagine we could look to move on a month. And when we do move on, in next month, I think what we will do is we will rent ourselves a harvester to go into our block of woodland and look to fell maybe half of it, and then we can then take wood as and when we please to either to the sawmill, or we buy ourselves a sawmill and we can put it straight into there, make productions, and start trying to build this museum. So out of interest, if we go on to precision farming and nitrogen, so 200,000 litres we could do that field, and that is a field of 17 acres. So that would maybe be 150. So I would say for 1,000,000 litres, we should be able to do the whole farm, you would guess. Right, let's get this folded up. And I think we've done enough driving in, this is the 8R, isn't it? Yeah, the 8R. So we'll park this tanker up. We might as well take it down to the bottom. We'll park it up where the fill point is. So I'm just going to leave this here, so it's sort of out of sight a bit, so it's not going to get in the way. We'll leave the tractor there as well. Let's find that's the 8R. We'll move on to the 7R, which is here. So does that need any watering? No. So let's take that off, and we'll go get the sprayer, which is just around this top. I'm hoping it will do. We'll have liquid fertiliser in if it's over here, I would imagine. I can't see any other reason why I would have put it here. So let's just back onto here. And that should be enough, especially with the, is it the pulse width modulation we've got on here. So let's get this unfolded now. And again, we'll go for get our steering assist up. Steering assist, yes please. So, and let's just see whether this is what it needs. Yes, definitely what this needs. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be pulsing like they are. Scratch that. It's not changing the slightest. So it's not what it needs. Right, well that answers that one up. We'll get that folded and taken away, so that's royally proven me wrong there. We'll park this back up here and we'll take it off. We will go put the bale, we'll put the autoload stacker on, and then we can go and bring our soybean bales back. So I'm not going to lie, I am very hesitant with the amount of bales we've got to sell, because obviously all those straw bales are going. I would say all the straw bales on, well, all the straw bales on the right are definitely going, and most likely half of them on the left. All those silage bales are going to be sold, and the hay, I think I'm going to keep all the hay, but it's just an unreal amount of stuff, you know, that we're going to have to, we either use this auto stacker and load it on, you know, just pull it up against the side and just load it slowly, or we're going to be loading this with our tractor, which that'll be even slower because we won't be able to do many bales at all, because we would like to, like the silage bales, if we do it, you know, by hand or machinery as it were, you'd want to do 3 at a time, because there's 60 odd bales just over there alone. But saying that, let's have a look at here. What have we got to 2? Oh no, we haven't even got to 2 million yet. I thought that would be. But silage, we've got 226,000 in silage. What else? What straw? But that's unreal. Over 100,000 in straw. And then we've got all these. Oh no, sorry. That's the value they are now. Ooh, silage is up there. Do we sell a little bit of silage now and then sell some later on? The price is rising, so shall we wait a month? What's this here? So milk. Oh, we need to get milk over to the bakery. There's another job. There's endless jobs to do with this. Right, let's hop into here. We will go get our milk tank. We'll try empty the water out. We'll try empty the water into the greenhouses. If the greenhouses don't need it, that's fine. We can just empty it, and then we'll load it with all the milk and get to the dairy, which I'm just going to jump cut all of that. Get ourselves back down to here again. So do you need water? Just a little bit. We'll get ourselves back down here, we'll sleep through the night, and because what I was thinking, depending on how long we are into this recording, which, let's just empty some water there, and a bit more into here, so we are going to have to empty this manually. Go, where's the trigger? Oh, was it taking it already? Right, okay, that's taking it already. We'll just quickly empty this. Right, with that empty, we will go get the milk. And then whilst we're doing the jump cut up to the dairy, I'll just check how long this episode's been going for. Whether we do another time lapse, where we'll be having to sleep through the night first, but then we'll do another time lapse after that. Milk, there we go. But time will tell, and that only just 98%. That only just fits. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump this into here. Whilst this is going in here, I'm going to show you what we are going to lease. So that's now in there. If we go on to here and look for forest harvesters, this one. So I'm thinking, what's the difference? Interesting. So this is one that came out earlier on with an update, but then I've got these ones which I'm just trying to figure out what the difference. By the weight, it must give me more. Yeah, it gives me more things that I can change. Whoa. A lot more things that I can change. What's all this stuff? Chainsaw holder, I won't need that. Yes, you get protection on either side there. Window protection, no, because if I do go in cab, that's not very nice to work in. Interior decoration, that is just something behind the seat. Additional cab lighting, so that's the lights on the front. Position lights. Don't know where they are. Rear cage, speed stickers. I was hoping it was going to say 100. Windows, you can go for window tints. I don't like window tints. And then the wheels, you can change to a few. That means you can do 71 centimetre logs. What I'd like to, can you get ones with tracks on with this or not? Not on those two, trailer bog. There's some grippy tires. Ah, here we go. These will be the chain. I don't know why they've got to be that. Why they're blue. Anyone who's in the forestry industry, if you could let me know why in the game they are that blue colour, would be lovely to know. I think though we would definitely go. We'll get something like that put onto it because it makes it a bit different. But anyways, that's what we'll be renting in the next episode. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Oh, before I finish, the mistake was that field that we were going to put stuff in. I was going to put soybeans in there. They don't need any fertiliser, so I've just that fertilised field now will have to last for another year. Bye for now.